Welcome. Everybody take a seat, for this was to me a great trade. But anything can happen. So today we had news at 8:30. Let me show you. We had unemployment rate at 8:30, non-farm employment change, hourly earnings. With that in mind, let's get to the charts. So overnight from yesterday, we continued down. During Asian session, we continued down while making a nice bearish fair value gap. During London session, we made retracement into this bearish fair value gap. This is a 1 hour bearish fair value gap. We reacted off of that to the downside. I missed this entry. I think I got on the market at like 9. So I missed the entry here. But I was back testing. So price fell into market open right here. We see price continues to slide down, making this bearish fair value gap. So with the higher time frame trend in mind, let me explain. So during New York Open, we had this reversal to the downside. Made equal low candle closure, and price broke structure to the upside. And this was off of the extension. Therefore, I had anticipated this as retracement. But as I said, give me one moment. All right. As I said, I had anticipated that as retracement. That's what I saw it as. As our next draws on liquidity, we're right down here. On the hourly, 4 hourly, daily, we were bearish as hell. We are bearish as hell. And even on the 30-minute time frame, this is clear. So we see that price makes this liquidity sweep. We have equal low candle closure. Price comes up, touches equilibrium. We touch equilibrium, and then we fall. I had been stocking this trade, this specific setup. I stocked it since 9:50, I think. 9:50. I had seen this liquidity sweep. I was waiting. This wasn't a sweep because then we closed even further, and then we started to rally up. I said this was liquidity sweep, and I was entertaining the thought of price coming up and touching equilibrium before pushing even further. Now, price could have came up, touched this fair value gap, and then just fell down. But I felt there was a higher probability of price coming up, touching equilibrium before dropping further. And in my experience, I wouldn't enter off of this bearish fair value gap, but I would enter off of a higher time frame. Having an understanding of what the higher time frame bearish fair value gap looked like, since it was so wide, I was like, okay, well, let's actually see where equilibrium is. Turns out right at that top. Therefore, I waited for this point to get hit. With that in mind, Let's go down to the 5 minute. So we had our liquidity sweep. We broke structure to the upside, and we were filling this bearish fair value gap while touching equilibrium. What I waited for was a consecutive 3 candle closure before even entering. 3 1 minute candle closure before even entering. I felt super strong in this because I had stocked this position. It wasn't gambling. It was more the action of a banker. But we had seen that equilibrium got hit. I waited 3 consecutive downtrend candle closure. Enter. Let me just show how clear it is. Enter. So what I did was I waited for price to come down further. I think it was right here, and then I added another position. Price ends up rallying back up, and since I had such heavy risk on this trade, I got stopped out early because on funded accounts there's a maximum daily loss of 1,000. So now looking back, obviously I had too heavy of risk for my current equity balance. But not even so. What my thought was I was putting as much on my position as much as I trusted my conviction and my strategy. I'm not unsatisfied at all. Honestly, I'm honestly glad because this is something I will not make. I will not make this mistake again. And looking back, what I have done, I probably would have placed one position on NQ at that same spot, and then I would have, yeah, not targeting the top of that fair value gap would have been a little crazy. Yeah, that would have been a little heavy. So I would have pulled my stop loss to there. That's what I would have done. Because that would have, okay, so I would have pulled it back up to the most recent high. And that's also equilibrium. So if price were to come back up here, that would invalidate my whole bias saying that price will continue higher. Therefore, this would have been the setup. But like I said, I'm not I'm not disappointed at all. Honestly, I'm proud. I learned today something I won't do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, hopefully. Because I'm not the man who makes the same mistake over and over and over. That's not my trading strategy. That's insanity. We also had just so if we talk about the news at 8:30, or not 8:30, but yeah, 8:30. If we talk about the unemployment news and we have that all in confluence, we're bearish. So bearish continuation would make sense. But like I said, oversized the position, and then I ended up paying for it. I paid for the lesson. My punishment for being wrong was to lose money. My reward for being right was to make money. So, with that being said, y'all boys, okay, the perfect trader would not have oversized his position. Let me finish this before I get off. I only had about like 30 ticks worth of price action or position. All right. Honestly, I feel the most confident in myself, in my trading strategy, in, like I said, in myself at this moment in time. I don't feel um this has diminished my strategy, diminished overall my overall psychology, because these wins, they happen. You don't know unless you know. So now I know. Holy shit. That's a lot of fucking volume. Damn. Considering the fact that literally yesterday and Wednesday we topped out at like, okay, Wednesday volume at 1041 topped out at 270K for ES. Today at 1041 at 1116 it's 1.2 million. That means that there must, now this is speculation, right? But I'm assuming that there was resistance orders down here. There were buy orders. Must have been somewhere within this area where price then lost momentum, and then the price started to go up. Then we started to gain more momentum to the downside, but then we're seeing there's more resistance. There's 1.13 million volume in here, and I'm thinking there's got to be a lot of bulls in the market to keep this price up. But it's all speculation. Someday, but not today. Someday, but not today. Someday, but not today. I tell you, someday, but not today. I fucking promise you. Someday, but not today. we would still be in said position. But we were moving sideways. All right, y'all boys. On that note, I'll catch you later.